My name is Brittany Jackson. I am 82 years old, a retired school librarian, a widow of 20 years, and a grandmother of 5. I have lived most of my life in a quiet American town where people greet each other by name, where church bells ring every Sunday morning, and where secrets are buried under polite smiles. For decades, I believed I understood my family. I believed I knew my mother, my brother, and the walls of the house where I grew up. I believed that love, even when imperfect, was still love. But one night, at exactly 2 o'clock in the morning, I opened a door I was never meant to open. And everything I believed about my mother shattered forever. Before I tell you how that night changed my life, let me take you back to who I was before the truth came out. I was born in a modest farmhouse on the edge of Cedar Hollow, a town where everyone knew everyone's business but pretended not to. My father died when I was young, leaving my mother to raise my brother Marcus and me alone. She was strict, religious, hardworking, and respected by everyone. People called her a saint. Pastors praised her. Neighbors admired her. And I loved her with the kind of devotion only a child can give. Marcus was my younger brother, charming, funny, and restless. He was the kind of boy who could make strangers laugh and trouble follow him home. Growing up, he was always protected by our mother. If Marcus broke something, she blamed me. If Marcus lied, she defended him. If Marcus failed, she made excuses. I noticed it, but I never questioned it. As years passed, I married, raised children, lost my husband, and eventually returned to Cedar Hollow after retirement. My mother was old by then. Marcus had moved back home after a failed marriage and a series of bad decisions. We all lived under the same roof again, like a strange replay of our childhood. First it felt peaceful. Quiet mornings, shared dinners, familiar voices, the comfort of routine, until I started noticing something strange. Every night, at exactly 2 o'clock, I heard footsteps in the hallway. First I thought it was my imagination. Old houses make noises. Old people wake up at night. I told myself it was nothing. But then the pattern became impossible to ignore. 2 o'clock. Soft footsteps. A door opening. A door closing. Always Marcus's bedroom door. I tried to ignore it, but curiosity is a stubborn thing. And fear is even more stubborn. One night, I woke up thirsty and went to the kitchen for water. As I passed the hallway, I saw my mother's silhouette moving slowly toward Marcus's room. Her hand was shaking slightly as she turned the knob. She slipped inside, and the door closed quietly behind her. I stood frozen. What could an elderly mother be doing in her adult son's room at 2 in the morning? I wanted to believe there was a simple explanation. Maybe Marcus was sick. Maybe he needed help. Maybe my mother was checking on him like she always had when we were children. But something felt wrong. Over the next few weeks, I began paying attention. Every night the same thing happened. 2 o'clock. The step. Marcus's door. Silence. Sometimes my mother stayed inside for minutes. Sometimes for nearly an hour. I started losing sleep. My mind created stories I didn't want to believe. I felt guilty for even thinking them. After all, she was my mother. A woman everyone respected. A woman who raised us alone. A woman who prayed every morning and quoted scripture every evening. But the truth does not care about reputation. One night I decided I could not live with questions anymore. It was a cold autumn night. The house was quiet except for the ticking clock in the living room. I sat on my bed pretending to sleep, waiting. 1 o'clock passed. 1:30 passed. My heart began to beat faster. Then I heard it. The step. Low. Careful. Familiar. I opened my bedroom door slightly and watched from the shadows. My mother walked past me, her robe trailing behind her, her face tense, her eyes focused. She stopped in front of Marcus's door. She hesitated. Then she knocked softly. The door opened. Marcus stood there, half awake, confused. My mother stepped inside. The door closed. That moment something inside me snapped. I walked down the hallway, my hands trembling, my breath shallow. I told myself I would just knock. Just ask if everything was okay. Just satisfy my curiosity. But when I reached Marcus's door, I heard voices. Not loud voices. Whispers. Urgent whispers. My mother's voice was trembling. Marcus's voice sounded angry. I leaned closer. I could not hear every word, but I heard enough to make my stomach twist. Then I heard something else. The sound of crying. Not my brother's crying. My mother's. My hand slowly lifted toward the door handle. For a moment I hesitated. I thought about turning back. I thought about pretending I never noticed anything. But something deep inside me told me that if I walked away now, I would live the rest of my life in darkness. So I turned the knob. The door opened. And what I saw on the other side destroyed the image of my mother I had carried in my heart for 82 years. I froze in the doorway, unable to move, unable to breathe, unable to understand what my eyes were seeing. My mother turned toward me. Marcus turned toward me. And in that moment, I realized that the secret they had been hiding was far bigger, darker, and more terrifying than anything I had imagined. I felt my respect for her collapse like a house built on sand. And before I could speak, my mother whispered my name in a voice I had never heard before. A voice full of fear. A voice full of guilt. A voice that begged me not to understand what I had just seen. If you want to know what I discovered behind that door, and how it changed the course of my life forever, make sure you stay with me. If this story already touched your heart, take a moment to like this video so more people can hear it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button so you never miss another emotional and powerful story like this. And tell me in the comments which part of the country you are watching from. I want to know who is walking this journey with me. Because what I saw that night was only the beginning. And the truth that followed was far more painful than the moment I opened that door. I stood in the doorway like a statue carved from fear. My eyes moved slowly around Marcus's room, trying to understand what I was seeing. The lamp on his bedside table was on, casting a weak yellow light across the walls. The curtains were half open, letting in pale moonlight. The air felt heavy, like something unsaid had been sitting there for years. My mother was sitting on the edge of Marcus's bed. Marcus was standing beside her, his arms crossed, his face tight with frustration. Between them was a small wooden box I had never seen before. For a few seconds no one spoke. The silence was louder than any scream. My mother looked at me the way people look at a stranger who has walked into a private meeting. Her eyes were wide, her lips shaking. She looked smaller than I had ever seen her. Not like the strong woman who raised us, but like a fragile old person caught in a lie she could no longer control. "Brittany," she said softly. Her voice was not angry. It was afraid. Marcus sighed deeply and looked away, as if he had been expecting this moment for a long time. "You were not supposed to see this," he said. I felt a strange heat rise from my chest to my throat. "See what?" "Yes." My voice sounded calm, but inside me everything was breaking. My mother stood up slowly. Her hands were shaking as she held the wooden box to her chest like it was a shield. "Go back to bed, Brittany," she said. "This is not your business." "Not my business," I repeated. For 82 years, I had called this woman my mother. I had defended her, respected her, trusted her. And now she was telling me that something happening in the middle of the night, in my own house, was not my business. Marcus stepped forward. "Brittany, please," he said quietly. "Let's talk tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" "Yes." My voice began to rise, and I could feel tears forming in my eyes, not from sadness, but from confusion and anger. Every night at 2 a.m. you talk tomorrow. Every night I hear footsteps, whispers, crying, and you both tell me to go back to bed? Marcus looked at my mother. She closed her eyes for a moment, as if she was praying for strength. Then she looked at me again. You are too old for this kind of stress, she said gently. I did not want to worry you. Too old. The words cut deeper than a knife. I took a step closer to them. Open the box, I said. Marcus shook his head. No, Brittany. Open it, I repeated. My mother's fingers tightened around the box. You do not understand, she whispered. Then help me understand, I said. My voice was no longer trembling. It was firm. Marcus exhaled slowly. He looked tired, like a man who had been carrying a heavy secret for too long. Mom, he said, maybe it is time. My mother stared at him. Time for what? She asked. Time to tell her the truth. The word truth hung in the air like a storm cloud. My mother looked at me again, and for a moment, I saw something in her eyes I had never seen before. Regret. Slowly, she sat back down on the bed. Her hands moved to the lid of the wooden box. She hesitated. Then she opened it. Inside the box were papers. Old papers. Photographs. Letters. And one object that made my heart stop. Hospital bracelet. I leaned forward. What is this? I asked. My mother picked up the bracelet with trembling fingers. It was yellowed with age, the plastic slightly cracked. And it was a name. Not Marcus. Not mine. Another name. Evelyn Carter. I frowned. Who is Evelyn Carter? I asked. Marcus looked down at the floor. My mother swallowed hard. For several seconds she said nothing. Then she spoke. Evelyn Carter was your sister. The world around me tilted. My sister. I laughed, but the sound was empty. That is not funny, I said. My mother did not laugh. Marcus did not laugh. Their silence was terrifying. You never had a sister, Marcus said quietly. But you should have. My heart began to pound violently. I felt like the room was shrinking. What do you mean? I asked. My mother opened one of the letters in the box. Her hands were shaking so badly that Marcus had to hold the paper with her. This is something I never planned to tell you, she said. Her voice was breaking. When you were 7 years old, I gave birth to another child. My mind went blank. 7 years old. I tried to remember that year. A house. A yard. My mother. Marcus. No baby. No crib. No memories of a sister. Where is she? I asked. My mother's eyes filled with tears. She looked at Marcus. He nodded slowly, like he was giving her permission to continue. Your sister was born sick, my mother said. She had a rare condition. The doctors said she might not live long. She cried all the time. She needed expensive treatment. Your father was already gone. I was alone. I was scared. Her voice cracked. People in this town talk too much. They judge too quickly. I was afraid they would see her as a curse. I was afraid they would see me as a failure. I felt something cold move through my chest. So what did you do? I asked. My mother lowered her head. Gave her away. The words fell into the room like stones. Felt dizzy. You gave her away. I repeated. Marcus finally looked at me. She did not just give her away, he said. I turned to him. What do you mean? He took a deep breath. She gave her away in secret. She told everyone the baby died at birth. I felt like the floor disappeared under my feet. My own mother had told the world that her child died. She had erased a human being from our lives. And she had done it without telling me. Without telling Marcus. Without telling anyone. Why? I whispered. My mother covered her face with her hands. I thought it was the only way, she cried. I thought I was protecting you. I thought I was protecting this family. Protecting us from what? I asked. From shame, she said. The word shame burned in my ears. For years, I had admired this woman. For years, I had believed she was strong. But now I saw that her strength was built on fear and lies. Marcus picked up one of the photographs from the box and handed it to me. My hand shook as I took it. It was a picture of a baby girl. Teeny, fragile, with eyes that looked strangely familiar. She looked like me. My heart broke. Her name was Evelyn, Marcus said softly. Mom gave her to a private adoption agency. They promised she would go to a wealthy family who could pay for her treatment. I stared at the photo. Did she survive? Yes. My mother looked at me slowly. Yes, she said. She survived. The room went silent again. If she survived, I said, then why are you sneaking into Marcus's room every night? My mother looked at the wooden box. Then she looked at Marcus. Marcus nodded again. My mother's voice dropped to a whisper. Because Evelyn came back. My breath stopped. Came back. To where? To this town. To Cedar Hollow. And the moment I understood what my mother meant, I felt a fear I had never felt before. Because I realized that the secret behind that door was not just about the past. It was about something happening right now. And whatever was coming next was going to change our family forever. For a moment, I thought I had misunderstood my mother's words. Evelyn came back. The sentence sounded unreal, like something from a movie, not from my life. Back where? Asked slowly. My voice felt distant, like it was coming from someone else. My mother did not answer immediately. She stared at the photograph of the baby girl in my hands as if it could speak for her. Back to this town, she finally said. Back to Cedar Hollow. I felt a chill run down my spine. How? Yes. When? Why didn't you tell me? Marcus rubbed his face with his hands like he was exhausted from carrying a secret too heavy for one man. She came 3 months ago, he said. 3 months. For 3 months, I had lived in the same house with my mother and brother, laughing at dinner, sharing memories, complaining about old bones and rising prices. And all that time, my lost sister had been somewhere in the same town. Alive. Breathing. Walking on the same streets I walked. Why didn't you tell me? Asked again. This time my voice was not angry. It was hurt. My mother looked up at me with tears in her eyes. I was afraid, Brittany, she said. I did not know how to face you. I did not know how to explain what I did. I did not know if you would ever forgive me. Forgive you? I repeated. I felt something inside me breaking piece by piece. You let me grow up believing I was an only daughter. You let me believe my sister died. You erased her from our lives. And when she came back, you still said nothing. My mother opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Marcus stepped forward. Brittany, he said gently, you have to understand something. Understand what? Yes. He looked at me with tired eyes. Evelyn did not come back looking for us. The words confused me. What do you mean? Marcus swallowed hard. She came back looking for answers. Answers about who she is. About where she came from. About why she was abandoned. I sat slowly on the chair near the bed. My legs felt weak. Does she know? Yes. Does she know that she is our sister? My mother shook her head quickly. No, she said. Not yet. The word yet frightened me. Why not? Yes. Because if she knows, my mother said softly, she will hate me. I stared at her. Hate you? After what you did, hate might be the smallest thing she could feel. My mother's face crumpled. Every night, she said, I come here to talk to Marcus about her. About what we should do. About whether we should tell you. About whether we should tell her. I felt a wave of anger rise inside me. So that is why you sneak into his room every night. Yes. Yes, Marcus said. We did not want you to hear us. We did not want to involve you until we were sure what to do. Sure of what? Yes. Sure whether telling the truth would destroy this family forever. I laughed bitterly. You think hiding it is not destroying it. Silence filled the room again. I looked at the photograph of the baby girl one more time. She looked so innocent. So small. so unaware of the storm that would follow her entire life. Where is she now? Asked. My mother hesitated. Marcus answered instead. She is living in this town. Where exactly? Asked. Marcus looked at my mother. My mother looked away. Marcus took a deep breath. She works at the nursing home on Oak Ridge Road. The nursing home. The words hit me like thunder. Oak Ridge Road. The same nursing home where I volunteered twice a week. The same nursing home where I read books to elderly residents and helped with community events. My heart stopped. I had been going there for months. Had I seen her? Had I spoken to her without knowing who she was? My mind raced through memories. Faces. Voices. Male. Strangers who might not have been strangers at all. What is her last name now? Asked. Marcus paused. He looked uncomfortable. Carter, he said. Evelyn Carter. The same name on the bracelet. Felt dizzy. Why are you so scared of her knowing the truth? Asked my mother. My mother stared at her hands. Because she is not just a lost child anymore, she said. She is a grown woman. She has questions. She has anger. She has pain. And she has been asking around this town about a woman who gave away a baby many years ago. My chest tightened. She is looking for you, I said. My mother nodded slowly. A sudden thought crossed my mind. Then why hasn't she come to our house? Asked. Marcus's eyes darkened. 'Cause she does not know it is us. Not yet. I felt a strange mix of relief and fear. Relief that she had not knocked on our door. Fear of what would happen when she eventually did. And then another thought came to me. If she is looking for answers and she works at the nursing home, and I have been volunteering there. My voice became quiet. Have I met her? Marcus looked at me carefully. My mother's eyes widened. She hesitated. Then she nodded slowly. Yes, she said. You have met her. The room began to spin. When? Asked. My mother closed her eyes. Several times. My heart started pounding violently. I tried to remember every woman I had spoken to at the nursing home. Every nurse. Every caregiver. Every staff member. Every smile. Every polite conversation. Every handshake. Which one of them was my sister? Which one of them had my blood? Which one of them had grown up without knowing us? Which one of them had been living a life we had stolen from her? My hands began to shake. Does she know me? Asked. Marcus shook his head. No, he said. She does not know you are her sister. But she likes you. The word likes felt heavy. Why? Asked. Marcus looked at me strangely. Because you were kind to her. Tears filled my eyes. Kind. I had been kind to my own sister without knowing it. I had smiled at her. Talked to her. Listened to her stories. Without knowing that she was the child my mother had abandoned. And suddenly something inside me shifted. For the first time I did not just feel anger toward my mother. Felt something else. Fear. Because if Evelyn ever discovered the truth, she would not just be angry at my mother. She would be angry at all of us. And I realized that the secret behind that door was not just a family secret anymore. It was a ticking clock. And when it exploded, nothing in our lives would remain the same. I did not sleep that night. After I left Marcus's room, I went back to my bedroom, but my mind refused to rest. The ceiling above me looked unfamiliar, like I was in a stranger's house instead of my own. Every sound felt louder. Every memory felt heavier. Somewhere in Cedar Hollow, my sister was sleeping. A sister I had never known. A sister who had grown up without us. A sister who had unknowingly walked into my life. By morning, my heart felt tired. At breakfast, the house was unusually quiet. My mother moved slowly in the kitchen, her back slightly bent, her hands trembling as she poured coffee into 3 cups. Marcus sat at the table, staring at his phone, pretending nothing had happened. I watched them both. They looked like the same people I had known all my life. But they were not. Every smile felt fake. Every word felt dangerous. No one spoke for several minutes. Finally, I broke the silence. "I want to meet her," I said. My mother froze. Marcus looked up instantly. "Meet who?" my mother asked, though she already knew the answer. "Evelyn," I said. The name tasted strange on my tongue. My mother shook her head. "No," she said quickly. "That is not a good idea." "Why not?" I asked. "Because it will complicate everything," she said. "Everything is already complicated," I replied. Marcus leaned back in his chair. "Brittany," he said softly, "this is not something you rush into." "Rush into?" I repeated. "I have lived 82 years without knowing I had a sister. She has lived her whole life without knowing her real family. How much longer do you want to wait?" My mother's eyes filled with tears. "You do not understand," she said. "Then explain it to me," I said. My voice was calm, but my heart was burning. My mother sat down slowly. "If Evelyn finds out the truth," she said, "she will ask questions I cannot answer." "Like what?" I asked. "Like why I chose to keep you and Marcus but not her." The words hit me like a slap. For the first time, I saw the wound behind my mother's fear. She was not just afraid of being judged. She was afraid of facing her own choices. I looked at Marcus. "Do you want to meet her?" I asked. He hesitated. Then he nodded slowly. "Yes," he said. "I want to see her." The decision felt heavy but unavoidable. "If we do not meet her," I said, "the truth will still come out someday. Secrets never stay buried forever." My mother stared at the table. Her silence was an answer. Later that afternoon, I drove to the nursing home. The sky was gray, matching the storm inside my chest. As I parked the car, my hands shook on the steering wheel. What if I recognized her immediately? What if she recognized something in me? What if she felt a connection she could not explain? I walked inside slowly. The smell of disinfectant and warm soup filled the hallway. Residents sat in wheelchairs near the windows. Nurses moved quietly from room to room. Everything looked normal. Too normal. I walked toward the common room where staff usually gathered. Then I saw her. She was standing near the reception desk, holding a clipboard. She had dark brown hair pulled back into a simple ponytail. Her posture was calm, but her eyes looked thoughtful, as if she carried invisible questions inside her. For a moment I could not move. She looked familiar. Not because I had seen her before, but because she looked like me. The same shape of nose. The same curve of lips. The same quiet sadness in her eyes. She turned her head slightly. Eyes met. She smiled. That smile felt like a knife in my heart. "Hello, Mrs. Jackson," she said warmly. I swallowed hard. "Hello," I replied. My voice sounded steady, but inside I was falling apart. "How are you today?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said. "And you?" "I'm good," she said. Her voice was gentle. For a moment neither of us spoke. The silence between us felt strange, like something invisible was connecting us. I wanted to tell her everything. I wanted to scream the truth. "You are my sister. You were abandoned. You deserve answers." But the words stayed trapped in my throat. Instead I forced a smile. "Busy day?" I asked. "Always," she laughed softly. "But I like it here. The residents remind me of home." Home. The word echoed in my mind. "Where is your home?" I asked carefully. She hesitated. That small pause told me everything. "I grew up in foster care," she said. "Then a family adopted me when I was 10. They were kind, but..." She stopped. "But what?" I asked gently. "But I always felt like something was missing," she said. My heart shattered. Missing. She had felt incomplete her entire life. And we were the reason. I felt tears rising in my eyes. I looked away quickly. You remind me of someone, she said suddenly. I turned back to her. Ooh. Yes. She studied my face. I'm not sure, she said. Maybe someone from a dream. A dream. If she knew the truth, she would realize it was not a dream. It was blood. It was history. It was betrayal. A nurse called her name from down the hallway. She turned toward the voice. Have to go, she said. Then she looked at me again. It was nice talking to you, Mrs. Jackson. It was nice talking to you too, I said. As she walked away, I watched her back slowly disappear down the corridor. And in that moment, I understood something that made my chest ache. Meeting her did not bring me peace. It brought me a deeper pain. Because I realized that sooner or later, she would learn the truth. And when she did, she would not just ask questions. She would demand answers. And my mother, my brother, and I would have to face the consequences of a secret that had been hidden for too long. As I walked out of the nursing home, my phone vibrated in my hand. A message appeared on the screen. It was from Marcus. We have a problem. My breath caught. I stared at the message, my heart pounding. Before I could reply, another message came. She knows something. And in that moment, I knew that the storm we had been trying to avoid had finally begun. My hands trembled as I stared at Marcus's message. We have a problem. She knows something. For a few seconds I could not move. The parking lot of the nursing home felt suddenly too open, too bright, too exposed. I sat back in my car and locked the doors, as if that could protect me from the truth that was slowly rising. What does she know? Type. The reply came almost instantly. Mom just got a call. My heart sank. From who? Yes. From Evelyn. I felt my breath leave my body. Why would Evelyn call my mother? How could she even have her number? Before I could think further, my phone rang. Marcus's name appeared on the screen. I hesitated for a second, then answered. Brittany, he said, his voice low and tense. You need to come home. What happened? Yes. Mom is not okay, he said. And Evelyn is asking questions. Questions about what? Yes. Marcus paused. About her birth. About her real family. About a woman in this town who gave away a baby. My heart began to race. Did she mention our names? Yes. No, he said. Not yet. But she is getting close. I started the car immediately. The drive home felt longer than usual. Every traffic light felt like an obstacle. Every second felt like a countdown. When I finally reached the house, I saw my mother sitting on the porch. She looked smaller than ever. Her hands were clasped tightly together, her eyes fixed on the ground. Marcus stood beside her, his arms crossed. When I stepped out of the car, they both looked at me. She called me, my mother said before I could speak. Her voice was shaking. What did she say? Yes. My mother swallowed hard. She said she found old hospital records. My stomach dropped. What records? Yes. Birth records, Marcus said. My mind began to spin. How could she find those? My mother's lips trembled. She said the records had my name on them. I felt like the world stopped. Your name? Yes. My mother nodded slowly. She said the woman who gave birth to her was named Margaret Jackson. Froze. Margaret Jackson. That was my mother's name. For a moment I could not breathe. So she knows your name, I whispered. Yes, my mother said. But she does not know where I live. Not yet. Marcus looked at me. But she is searching. I sat down slowly on the porch steps. The secret was no longer buried. It was rising. And there was no way to stop it. What did you say to her? Asked my mother. My mother's eyes filled with tears. I lied, she said. I told her I was not the woman she was looking for. The words made my chest hurt. Marcus sighed. She did not believe her, he said. Of course she did not, I replied. If someone spent their whole life feeling incomplete, they would not give up easily. My mother covered her face with her hands. I never thought this day would come, she whispered. I never thought she would come back. I looked at her. But she did, I said. And now you have to face what you did. My mother flinched as if I had slapped her. Marcus stepped closer to her. Mom, he said gently, Brittany is right. We cannot run forever. My mother slowly lifted her head. Her eyes were full of fear. What if she hates me? She asked. What if she destroys this family? I felt a strange sadness. This family was already broken. We had just been pretending it was not. Before anyone could say anything else, a car pulled up in front of our house. We all turned our heads at the same time. The car was unfamiliar. A silver sedan. The engine stopped. The door opened. And a woman stepped out. My heart stopped. It was her. Evelyn. She stood on the sidewalk looking at the house. For a moment she did not move. Then she started walking toward us. Each step felt like a drumbeat in my chest. My mother stood up slowly. Her hands were shaking. Marcus took a step forward, as if he wanted to protect her. Evelyn stopped a few feet away from us. Her eyes moved from Marcus to my mother. Then they landed on me. Mrs. Jackson, she said softly. Her voice was calm. Come. Hello, Evelyn, I replied. She smiled faintly, but her eyes were serious. I hope I am not disturbing you, she said. No, my mother whispered. Her voice was barely audible. Evelyn turned toward her. For a few seconds they stared at each other. The air between them felt heavy with unsaid words. Finally Evelyn spoke. I have been looking for you, she said. My mother's lips trembled. Looking for me? She asked. Yes, Evelyn said. I believe you know something about my birth. The world felt like it was about to collapse. Marcus looked at me. I looked at my mother. My mother looked at Evelyn. No one spoke. Evelyn took a step closer. Her eyes were not angry. They were searching. Please, she said quietly. I just want the truth. My mother opened her mouth. But no words came out. And in that moment, I realized that the next sentence she spoke would change all our lives forever. The porch felt too small for the weight of the moment. Evelyn stood there, her hands folded calmly in front of her, but her eyes were burning with questions she had carried for a lifetime. My mother stood opposite her, fragile, trembling, like a woman about to face a storm she had created decades ago. I could hear my own heartbeat. Marcus shifted beside me, unsure whether to step forward or stay silent. Finally my mother spoke. What do you want to know? She asked. Her voice was soft, almost broken. Evelyn hesitated. For a second I saw fear in her eyes. Not fear of us. Fear of the truth. I want to know who I am, she said. The words were simple, but they carried the weight of an entire life. My mother looked down at her hands. You are Evelyn Carter, she said quietly. Evelyn shook her head slowly. That is the name my adoptive family gave me, she said. But I want to know who I was before that. Her eyes lifted to my mother again. I want to know who gave birth to me. Silence fell again. Marcus looked at my mother. I looked at my mother. The truth stood right in front of her, waiting to be spoken. My mother's lips trembled. For a long moment I thought she would lie again. But something in Evelyn's eyes stopped her. I did, my mother whispered. The words floated in the air like fragile glass. For a second Evelyn did not react. Then her eyes widened slightly. You? She asked. My mother nodded slowly. Evelyn's gaze moved from my mother to Marcus, then to me. And suddenly, understanding began to form on her face. So that means, she said slowly. My voice felt dry, but I forced myself to speak. Means you are our sister. The world seemed to stop. Evelyn stared at us. Her eyes filled with emotions too complex to name. Pain, confusion, anger, hope, all at once. Sister, she repeated. Yes, Marcus said quietly. She took a step back, as if the ground beneath her feet had shifted. No, she whispered. This is not possible. I stepped forward slowly. It is possible, I said. And it is true. Evelyn's breathing became uneven. She looked at my mother again. You told everyone I died, didn't you? She asked. My mother closed her eyes. Yes, she whispered. The word fell like a heavy stone. Evelyn laughed softly, but there was no joy in it. So I died, she said, while you went on with your life. My mother began to cry. I thought I was protecting you, she said. Protecting me from what? Evelyn asked. From shame. From poverty. From inconvenience. Each word felt like a blade. I was young, my mother said. I was scared. I was alone. I did not know how to raise a sick child. I thought giving you to a family who could afford treatment was the best thing for you. Evelyn stared at her. You never thought about what it would feel like to grow up knowing I was unwanted? She asked. My mother shook her head. I thought you would have a better life. Evelyn's voice rose slightly. Did you ever think I would want to know my real family? Did you ever think I would want to know my real name? My mother could not answer. Tears streamed down her face. Marcus stepped forward. Evelyn, he said gently. She turned toward him. And you, she said. Did you know about me? Marcus hesitated. Then he nodded. Yes, he said. For how long? She asked. 3 months, he replied. Evelyn looked at me. And you? She asked. My chest tightened. Since last night, I said. Her eyes softened slightly. So you did not know either, she said. No, I replied. But that did not make the pain disappear. Evelyn looked at our house. The house where we had grown up. The house she had never known. So this is where you lived, she said quietly. Yes, I said. She looked back at my mother. Did you ever think about me? She asked. Every day, my mother whispered. Did you ever try to find me? Evelyn asked. My mother shook her head slowly. I was afraid, she said. Afraid of what? Evelyn asked. Afraid you would hate me. Evelyn was silent for a long moment. Then she said something that made my heart ache. I already do not know how to feel about you. Her voice was not loud. It was honest. My mother covered her mouth with her hand, trying to hold back sobs. I am sorry, she whispered. Sorry does not give back 30 years, Evelyn replied. Sorry does not erase nights in foster homes. Sorry does not explain why my own mother chose to erase me. The words were painful, but they were true. I felt tears in my eyes. Evelyn turned to me. Brittany, she said softly. Yes, I replied. Did you know I existed when you were young? She asked. No, I said. I thought I was an only daughter. She nodded slowly. Then this is not your fault, she said. Her kindness toward me felt like a knife in my heart. Because I knew that deep down, she was not just angry at our mother. She was mourning a life she never had. After a long silence, Evelyn spoke again. I did not come here to destroy your family, she said. I came here because I needed answers. You have them now, Marcus said. She nodded slowly. Yes, she said. But answers are not the same as healing. She looked at my mother one more time. I do not know if I can ever forgive you, she said. My mother nodded slowly. I understand, she whispered. Evelyn turned away slightly, as if she needed space. Then she said something that made my heart stop. But there is something else you need to know. We all looked at her. What? Marcus asked. Evelyn took a deep breath. I did not find you by accident. The air froze. What do you mean? Yes. Evelyn's eyes darkened slightly. Someone in this town helped me find you. My stomach tightened. Ooh. My mother asked. Evelyn looked straight at Marcus. And in that moment, I realized that the secret we thought we had controlled was never really ours. Because someone else had been pulling the strings behind the scenes. And whatever was coming next would be even more dangerous than the truth we had just revealed. The moment Evelyn looked at Marcus, the world seemed to tilt. For a second he did not move. He did not speak. He just stared at her. I felt my chest tighten. Marcus, I asked quietly. My brother's face had gone pale. Evelyn folded her arms slowly. Her expression no longer soft. Someone helped me find your house, she said again. Her voice was calm, but there was something sharp beneath it. Marcus swallowed hard. That is not true, he said. Evelyn tilted her head slightly. Do you want me to lie for you or tell the truth? She asked. Silence swallowed us. My mother looked from Evelyn to Marcus, confusion and fear mixing in her eyes. Marcus, she whispered. Marcus avoided her gaze. I felt something cold crawl up my spine. Marcus, I said, my voice shaking. What did you do? He took a step back, as if he wanted to escape the question. I did not mean for it to happen like this, he said. The words felt heavy. Evelyn laughed softly. Like what? She asked. Like her showing up here. Like your mother being exposed. Like your family falling apart. Marcus clenched his fists. I just wanted the truth to come out, he said. I turned to him. You wanted the truth to come out. I repeated. Then why did you hide it from me? Why did you meet Mom every night at 2 a.m. like criminals? Marcus's eyes filled with frustration. Because I knew she would never tell you, he said. And I knew Evelyn deserved answers. My mother stared at him. You told her? She asked, her voice trembling. Marcus looked down. Not directly, he said. Then how? Yes. Evelyn stepped forward. He did not tell me everything, she said. But he gave me clues. Clues. My mother repeated. Yes, Evelyn said. He told me that the woman who gave birth to me still lived in Cedar Hollow. He told me her last name started with J. He told me she had 2 children. He told me she lived near the old Oak Road. Each sentence felt like a blow. Marcus, my mother whispered. Why? She asked. Marcus lifted his head slowly. Because I was tired of watching you live with guilt, he said. And I was tired of watching Evelyn walk around this town like a stranger while we pretended she did not exist. His voice cracked. She is our sister. My mother burst into tears. I was going to tell her, she cried. When? Marcus asked. When she died. The words cut deep. I felt torn between them. Marcus was not wrong. But his actions had lit a fire we were not prepared to face. Evelyn looked at Marcus carefully. You never told me your name, she said. Marcus hesitated. Marcus Jackson, he said. Evelyn nodded slowly. Thank you, Marcus Jackson, she said. For not letting the lie continue forever. Her words felt like both gratitude and accusation. She turned toward my mother again. You do not get to decide when the truth comes out, she said. You decided that 30 years ago. My mother lowered her head. I know, she whispered. For a long moment no one spoke. The wind moved through the trees, rustling the leaves above us. The house felt strangely small. Then Evelyn spoke again. There is something else, she said. We all looked at her. What else? Yes. She took a deep breath. When I started looking for my real family, I did not do it just out of curiosity. I felt a strange unease. Why? Marcus asked. Evelyn looked at me. 'Cause I found something that does not make sense. My heart began to race. What did you find? Yes. Evelyn's eyes narrowed slightly. According to the records I found, she said slowly, my birth was not the only secret in this family. The words hung in the air. Not the only secret. I felt a sudden fear. What do you mean? My mother asked. Evelyn looked at the house. Then she looked back at us. And she said the words that made my blood run cold. There was another baby. The silence that followed was terrifying. Another baby. I whispered. Yes, Evelyn said. A baby whose name never appeared in any family records. A baby who disappeared. My mind went blank. My mother froze completely. Marcus's eyes widened. And in that moment I realized something horrifying. The secret that had destroyed my respect for my mother was not the biggest secret she was hiding. It was only the beginning. And whatever happened to that other baby was a truth none of us were ready to face. The word baby echoed in my mind like a distant alarm. Another baby. For a moment, I thought Evelyn must be mistaken. But when I looked at my mother's face, I knew she was not. My mother did not speak. She did not cry. She did not move. Her eyes stared into nothing, as if she had been pulled back into a memory she had spent her whole life trying to bury. Marcus stepped forward slowly. "Evelyn," he said quietly. "What are you talking about?" Evelyn looked at him with calm seriousness. "When I started searching for my birth records," she said, "I met an old clerk who had worked at the hospital decades ago. She remembered my case because it was unusual." "Unusual how?" he asked. Evelyn hesitated for a moment. "She said my mother did not come to the hospital alone." My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" he asked. Evelyn turned toward my mother. "She came with another child," she said. "A newborn." The air left my lungs. My mother's hands began to shake. Marcus stared at her. "Mom," he whispered. My mother's lips trembled. "Stop," she said softly. Her voice was barely audible. Evelyn did not stop. "The clerk said there were 2 babies registered that night," she said. "One was me. The other was a baby boy." My head started spinning. Baby boy. Another child. Another secret. Another life erased. Marcus looked like he had been punched in the stomach. "That is impossible," he said. "We would have known." "Would we?" I asked quietly. My voice sounded strange to my own ears. Our mother had already hidden one child from us. Why would this be different? My mother suddenly sat down heavily on the porch chair. Her shoulders shook. "Do not say it," she whispered. "Do not say it again." Evelyn looked at her gently. "I am not here to hurt you," she said. "I am here because I deserve the truth." My mother covered her face with her hands. For several seconds, only her quiet sobbing filled the air. Marcus knelt beside her. "Mom," he said softly, "tell us." My heart felt like it was being pulled in 2 directions. Part of me wanted the truth. Another part of me was afraid of what the truth would destroy. Slowly, my mother lifted her head. Her eyes were red and tired. "You were never supposed to know," she said. Her voice sounded older than her age. I felt a cold wave run through me. "So it is true?" "Yes." She nodded slowly. "Yes," she said. "There was another baby." My legs felt weak. "Who was he?" "Yes." My mother stared at the ground. "He was born the same night as Evelyn," she said. "But he was not like her." "Not like her how?" Marcus asked. My mother hesitated. Then she whispered the words that changed everything. "He was not your father's child." Silence exploded around us. My mind stopped working. Not our father's child. Then whose child was he? Marcus stood up slowly. "Mom," he said. "What are you saying?" My mother's hands shook as she clasped them together. "Years before your father died," she said, "I made a mistake." The word mistake sounded too small. "I met someone else," she continued. "A man who passed through this town for work. He was kind to me when I felt invisible. He listened to me when I felt alone." I stared at her. "You had an affair," I whispered. My mother closed her eyes. "Yes," she said. The confession felt like thunder. Marcus looked away, his jaw tight. I felt anger, shock, and pity fighting inside me. "And the baby?" "Yes." My mother swallowed hard. "When I realized I was pregnant," she said, "I knew the truth would destroy everything. Your father was sick. He was already weak. I was afraid that if he found out, it would kill him." "So what did you do?" "Yes." My voice was shaking now. My mother's lips trembled. "When the baby was born," she said slowly, "I did not tell anyone. I told the hospital staff that the child was stillborn." "Stillborn?" The word felt heavy and cruel. But he was not dead, Marcus said. No, my mother whispered. He was alive. My heart began to pound violently. Then where is he? Asked. My mother looked at me. Her eyes were full of guilt. I gave him away too, she said. Just like Evelyn. Felt dizzy. 2 children. 2 lives erased. 2 secrets buried. Why? Asked. My mother's voice broke. Because I was afraid of losing everything, she said. I was afraid of losing your father. Afraid of losing this family. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of being hated. Marcus clenched his fists. So you chose to erase him, he said. My mother nodded slowly. Evelyn listened silently. Her expression was no longer angry. It was sad. So I was not the only one, she said quietly. No, my mother whispered. You were not. I felt tears rolling down my cheeks. All these years we thought we were a simple family. But beneath the surface there were ghosts. Children who should have been sitting at our table. Names that should have been spoken. Stories that should have been told. Where is he now? Asked. My mother looked away. I do not know, she said. I never tried to find him. Marcus stared at her. You never looked for either of them, he said. My mother nodded slowly. I was afraid, she said again. Fear. That was the word that had shaped our entire family. Evelyn took a deep breath. So there is another brother somewhere in this world, she said. Yes, my mother whispered. And he does not know we exist. Silence fell again. But this time it was not just heavy. It was terrifying. Because I realized something that made my stomach twist. If Evelyn had found us, if she had uncovered secrets buried for decades, then it was only a matter of time before someone else did the same. And the brother we had never known might already be closer than we imagined. As the sun slowly disappeared behind the trees, a strange thought entered my mind. What if he was not lost? What if he had been watching us all along? And in that moment, I felt a fear deeper than anything I had felt before. Because I understood that the story of our family was not ending. It was just beginning. That night the house felt haunted. Not by ghosts but by truths that had finally learned how to speak. After Evelyn left, none of us slept. My mother stayed in her room with the lights off. Marcus sat in the living room, staring at nothing. I lay in bed, listening to the ticking clock on the wall, each second sounding like a countdown. Somewhere in the world we had another brother. A brother who did not know us. A brother who had been erased like a mistake. And for the first time in my life, I felt afraid of my own family history. Early the next morning, my phone rang. It was Evelyn. I hesitated before answering. Hello, I said. Good morning, Brittany, she said softly. Her voice sounded tired. How are you? Asked. I'm not sure, she replied honestly. Understand, I said. There was a short silence. Can we meet? She asked. My heart tightened. Meet where? Asked. At the nursing home, she said. After my shift. I looked at the window. The sky was pale gray. Yes, I said. I will come. When I arrived at the nursing home that afternoon, Evelyn was sitting on a bench outside. Her hands clasped together. She looked smaller than usual, like someone carrying a weight too heavy for one person. I walked toward her slowly. She looked up when she saw me. Thank you for coming, she said. Course, I replied. For a moment neither of us spoke. Then she said something that surprised me. I do not hate you. The words hit me unexpectedly. I looked at her. Why would you hate me? Asked. Because you grew up with what I never had, she said. A mother. Home. Family. I lowered my eyes. I did not choose that, I said. I know, she replied. That is why I do not hate you. Her honesty hurt more than anger would have. After a moment she continued. But I am angry at her. I nodded slowly. You have every right to be, I said. Evelyn looked at the ground. All my life, she said quietly, I felt like something was missing. I thought it was my fault. I thought maybe I was not good enough to be kept. My chest tightened. You were not the problem, I said. She smiled sadly. I know that now, she said. But knowing something and feeling something are not the same. We sat in silence again. Then Evelyn looked up at me. Do you think she regrets it? She asked. I thought about my mother's tears. Her trembling hands. Her fear. Yes, I said. Think she does. Evelyn nodded slowly. Regret does not change the past, she said. No, I said. But it can change the future. She looked at me carefully. Do you really believe that? She asked. I hesitated. I did not know. Before I could answer, my phone vibrated. A message from Marcus. I need to talk to you. I frowned. What is wrong? I asked. Evelyn noticed my expression. Something happened. She asked. I nodded slowly. Marcus just messaged me, I said. He sounds worried. Evelyn stood up. Do you want me to come with you? She asked. I hesitated. Then I nodded. Yes, I said. We drove to my house together. When we arrived, Marcus was standing outside, pacing back and forth. When he saw us, he stopped. Brittany, he said quickly. Came. What happened? I asked. He looked at Evelyn. His eyes darkened slightly. Maybe you should sit down, he said. My heart began to race. Why? I asked. Marcus took a deep breath. Someone came to the house this morning, he said. Someone. Yes, he said. Man. My stomach tightened. What man? I asked. Marcus hesitated. He looked at Evelyn. Then he looked at me. He said he was looking for Margaret Jackson, Marcus said. My heart skipped. Looking for Mom? I asked. Yes, Marcus said. He said he had been searching for his real family. I felt the world tilt. My voice became a whisper. Are you saying? Marcus nodded slowly. Yes, he said. I think he is our brother. The air froze around us. Evelyn's eyes widened. I felt my knees weaken. After decades of silence, decades of secrets, decades of lies, the lost child had come home. And something told me that his arrival was not going to bring peace. It was going to bring consequences. I felt the world slow down. Our brother, a man we had never met, a life erased before it even began, now standing somewhere near our house, searching for a mother who had spent her entire life running from the truth. Where is he now? Asked Marcus. Marcus swallowed hard. He left his name and number, he said. He said he would come back. My heart pounded in my chest. Did Mom see him? Asked. Marcus shook his head. No, he said. She was asleep. I told him she was not home. I turned to Evelyn. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with emotion. So he is real, she whispered. Yes, I said. He is real. For a moment none of us spoke. We had spent decades living in a family built on silence. Now the silence was gone. And in its place was a truth too big to ignore. That evening I sat beside my mother in her room. She looked older than ever. Her hair was gray, her face lined with years of regret. Marcus told me everything, I said softly. She did not look at me. So he came, she whispered. Yes, I said. He is looking for you. My mother closed her eyes. I knew this day would come, she said. Then why did you wait so long? Asked. Her voice trembled. Because I was afraid to face the people I had hurt. I sat closer to her. Do you understand what you did? Asked. She nodded slowly. I stole their childhoods, she said. I stole their names. I stole their place in this family. Tears rolled down her cheeks. And I stole your truth too, Brittany. I felt my own tears fall. For years, I had believed my mother was perfect. Now I saw her as a woman who had made terrible choices out of fear. Not a monster. Not a saint. Just human. What are you going to do now? Yes. She looked at me with tired eyes. If he comes back, she said, I will not hide. I will not lie. I will not run. I nodded slowly. That was the first honest thing she had said in decades. The next day he came. We were all in the living room when the doorbell rang. Marcus froze. Evelyn held her breath. My mother stood up slowly. I will open it, she said. Her hands shook as she walked toward the door. For a moment she hesitated. Then she turned the knob. The door opened. A man stood there. He was tall with dark hair and tired eyes. He looked like Marcus. He looked like me. He looked like someone who belonged to us, even though we had never known him. Good afternoon, he said politely. His voice was calm, but his eyes were searching. Are you Margaret Jackson? My mother nodded slowly. Yes, she said. The man swallowed hard. My name is Daniel Carter, he said. For a moment no one moved. Then he stepped inside. His eyes moved around the house slowly, as if he was trying to imagine a life he had never lived. I think you know why I am here, he said. My mother nodded again. Yes, she whispered. Do. Daniel looked at her carefully. I have been searching for my biological family for years, he said. When I found the records, I did not know if I should come. Why did you? Marcus asked softly. Daniel looked at him. Because I needed to know if I was truly unwanted, he said. The words pierced my heart. My mother walked closer to him. You were never unwanted, she said. Daniel looked at her. Then why did you give me away? He asked. The question hung in the air. My mother opened her mouth, but her voice failed her. I stepped forward. She was afraid, I said gently. Daniel turned to me. Afraid of what? He asked. Afraid of losing everything, I said. Daniel laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. And what about what I lost? He asked. No one answered. Evelyn stepped forward slowly. You are not alone, she said. Daniel looked at her. Who are you? He asked. She hesitated. Then she said it. I am your sister. Daniel froze. For a moment, he just stared at her. Then he looked at Marcus. Me. My mother. So this is my family, he said quietly. No one knew what to say. Daniel walked slowly into the living room and sat down. He looked at my mother again. I do not know if I can call you Mom, he said. My mother nodded. You do not have to, she said. I do not know if I can forgive you, he continued. My mother nodded again. You do not have to, she said. Her voice was calm now. Not defensive. Not afraid. Just honest. But I want you to know something, she said. Daniel looked at her. I lived every day with the weight of what I did, she said. I watched Brittany and Marcus grow up and wondered who you would have been. I wondered what your laugh would sound like. What your dreams would be. I wondered if you were safe. If you were loved. If you were alive. Tears filled her eyes. I do not deserve your forgiveness, she said. But I am grateful you are here. Daniel stared at her for a long time. Then he said something none of us expected. I did not come here to destroy you, he said. My mother looked up. I came here to understand you. The room went silent. Daniel looked at all of us. All my life, he said, I felt like I was missing something. Now I know what it was. Not just a mother. Not just siblings. But the truth. He took a deep breath. I cannot change the past, he said. But I do not want to live my future in anger. Evelyn looked at him with tears in her eyes. Marcus lowered his head. I felt my heart tighten. Daniel stood up slowly and walked toward my mother. He stopped in front of her. For a moment, I thought he would turn away. But instead he said softly, You made a terrible choice. My mother nodded. Yes, she said. But I am here now, he continued. And I want to see what kind of woman you are today. My mother began to cry openly. Not out of fear, but out of relief. For the first time, our family was not built on lies. It was built on truth. Painful truth. But real truth. Weeks passed. Nothing became perfect overnight. Evelyn did not suddenly feel whole. Daniel did not suddenly feel healed. My mother did not suddenly become free of guilt. But something changed. We began to talk. We began to listen. We began to share stories that should have been told decades ago. One evening, I watched my mother sitting at the table with Daniel and Evelyn. She was not pretending anymore. She was not hiding anymore. She was not running anymore. She was simply there. And I realized something that surprised me. The secret that destroyed my respect for her did not end our family. It rebuilt it. Not on perfection. Not on pride. But on honesty. My mother did not win by defending herself. She won by admitting her mistakes. By facing the children she had once erased. By choosing courage over fear. And in that quiet moment, I understood that real strength is not found in hiding the truth. It is found in finally standing in it. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to like this video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button so you never miss another emotional and powerful story like this. And tell me in the comments which part of the country you are watching from. Your voice matters and your story matters too.